It's a hot Monday afternoon, and I've spent about an hour on my bike on the way home. I had a meeting at the district I went to. Um, anyway, yeah, so I'm laying here in front of the fan cooling off. There's that big monster fan I use, but anyway, I've been thinking about something lately, faith. And, whether you're religious or not, you call it trust or call it perspective or call it insight. But I jotted down some notes, and I may read it every now and then. Let me just I'll put it up here. I'll be glancing down, but anyway, having faith is like standing on a ladder or tower. The more faith you have, the further you can see. That's why lifeguards sit on the beach, sit on a tower, and use binoculars. This helps them see dangers that may not be apparent to those on the ground. And you think of what got me going is I am trying to motivate my video students to see things differently. And also in struggles with raising a family. As a teenager, I often thought, oh, my parents don't see things the way I do. Why can't they see things the way I do? Well, now that I'm a parent, it's more apparent, pardon the rhyme, that I think they did see things, but I was failing to see further. So, for example, I had some questions I wrote down. For example, what does the world look like to a 5-year-old? When you're 5 years old, you don't think about much of anything else. Compare that to someone that's 35 years old. Okay, so maybe like a car trip. If a 5-year-old is taking a car trip, they're hopefully in the back seat, but they're not concerned about the hazards of the road, the gas mileage. They're not concerned with, a noise they hear in the car or other drivers or what time of day it is or if they're tired. But the driver's more aware. I'm not sure what I'm getting at. It's all perspective. Back to the 5-year-old example. To a 5-year-old, they probably can barely see up onto the kitchen counter. And so their world is from at the 3-foot height level. That's what everything looks like. And I'm not saying you need to be taller to appreciate the world. I'm just saying this is really hard to describe. But it made a lot of sense when I wrote it yesterday. But gosh, you see the counter. And I'm speaking metaphorically, okay? You see things right in front of you. But it's not till you have experience that you see further. Sure, you see what's right in front of you, but you also know what it takes to get food on the table. As a 5-year-old, the food just magically shows up. Parents go to the store and they come back with food. There's so much more to it. Okay, let me read a little bit more, because it made sense when I wrote it. Having faith doesn't put you higher than those around you. It gives you perspective. Think about what was important to you when you were 5. The most important thing to you was what was right in front of you. When you were 15, what was important? What about 35? What about 55? What will be important then? When you were 5, what sort of things would ruin your day? What about when you were 15? At 35, at 55? What kind of things ruin your day when you're 5? I'm around teenagers a lot, and so I see pretty much what ruins their day a lot. And a lot of it's just drama. But if an adult calls it just drama and dismisses it, well, you're dismissing their world. how can I as an adult teacher help them to see further? It'd be easy if it weren't a metaphor. I can say, okay, stand up on this ladder and you can see further. And I know for me, one big thing was when I went on my mission to Puerto Rico. Now, again, not saying that this needs to be religious, but I went to another freaking country. Well, Puerto Rico's as foreign as it gets. Well, no, it's not another country. But anyway, I stepped out of my comfort zone. Most kids don't ever leave the state they're born in. Well, I made that up, but majority don't. Anyway, my perspective changed. And as I get older, my perspective, as I had children, my perspective changes, or changed. This is probably a really good example of what a ramble is for me, because I don't know if I'm making any sense. But it's frustrating to know that I was a teenager that wanted to be understood by adults, and I don't think I was, but now now I'm an adult, trying to think, okay, what's the solution? Is it just one of those things that has to be? I don't know. Anyway, good night.